It's that time of the year. Welcome to Highway 34 Connections on the road to WrestleMania 40 with coverage, news, and more.
Thank you for watching Highway 34 Connection. Today's podcast will begin shortly.
Highway 34 Connection is a podcast where a trio of friends who have become brothers sit down and discuss random topics, or even break down a bracket and even discuss American sports and news. Now sit back and relax as we give you our thoughts and honest opinions on the topics at hand. Once again, thanks for picking Highway 34 Connection.
The following podcast may use videos, pictures, news articles, and even audio from another channel. Highway 34 Connection doesn't own the rights to those. We will shout out who or where we get them for the podcasts. They own the copyrights, not us here at Highway 34 Connection. Please remember that all of our podcasts are unscripted, unfiltered, and unedited. Podcasts we do are pro wrestling talk, where we discuss the world of pro wrestling and give spoilers.
Talking football, where we talk about the current season of the NFL, XFL and USFL, where we give our thoughts on each week of gameplay. We also give our predictions on what teams will win each game.
Conspiracy theories, we sit down and talk about conspiracy theories and why we think something is real or just a theory.
Let's chat it up. This is a podcast where we just talk about random topics here on the channel. We could talk about anything, so please be warned, our podcasts are intended for mature audiences only.
Welcome to Highway 34 Connection.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. I am the Chief, that is Insidious. By his absence, we're not sure where Ghost is. I tried calling him, he didn't answer. So we're just gonna do this without him, even though he wanted to be here. So, with that in mind, a lot of stuff going on in the last couple of weeks. We touched on one last week. After the Rumble, to talk about it a little. We were going to talk more about the whole Vince McMahon scandal and everything. But unfortunately, Ghost isn't here, so I guess we'll talk about some other stuff.
Ghost is ghosting.
Yeah, let's just talk about Friday. Cody Rhodes shows up, says he's going to beat Roman for the title. But it ain't going to happen at WrestleMania, and then he brings out Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Fans have went on Twitter and everything else.
I get it, they're mad.
Disrespecting The Rock because Rock's fighting Roman.
The only thing I got upset about was we did not hear a promo from The Rock explaining why. I think if that would have went differently, I think the fans wouldn't have been so upset. But we also don't know what Raw is going to have in store. It means Cody Rhodes is technically a Raw superstar. I see him going against Seth. And I think that's what he was out there to declare. He wasn't going to fight him just yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why everybody jumped to conclusions. It is WWE, and everything changes week to week, day by day. So I don't understand why everybody jumped to conclusions and say, "Oh, well, he stole his moment." Did he? Because we still have another champion on Raw.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why everybody started going instantly right after The Rock. But The Rock did tell Cody, "Thank you."
On Twitter, yeah.
No, he told him in person. You didn't see after the camera shut off, did you? After the show went off the air, he hugged Cody and whispered into his ear, "Thank you for giving up your spot for me."
Which I think it's bullshit. The winner of the WrestleMania gets to pick what title. He should be able to pick whatever title he wants. And that's where the fans are coming in.
I get it, but I also believe that he wasn't going to challenge Roman after what Seth said. So it but they had to make the show entertaining. And how do you make entertainment? Controversy.
Bringing back another timer?
No, controversy. Look what happened. Ratings boosted when The Rock showed up. And then, he stole Cody's spotlight. He took that from him. No, he gave it to him. He didn't steal it. He gave it. Big difference. But Cody still, like you said, he has the right to choose. And I believe that he wasn't going to choose Roman after the conversation with Seth happened. So what I honestly believe happened was he did talk to a lot of people, and Dwayne has unfinished business with Roman, as he's labeled the hints several times. So how do you work that into a storyline? By giving the biggest bombshell of it all. Roman thought for sure he was going to get Cody. And then Cody goes, I'm going to take it from you, just not at Mania. But somebody else, on the other hand, does. And that's when The Rock came out. So, me personally, I believe 110% that it was just for controversy and it worked. Hi, Pixie. So,
the thing is, they're not going to let him lose. Let Roman lose. If they're wanting him to beat Hogan's record, they're not going to let him lose.
Well, that's the thing. Vince wanted him to beat Hogan's record, not Triple H.
Yeah.
So they're not going to let him just beat The Rock. It's The Rock. But I also believe to be the best, you got to beat the best. And we all can agree The Rock is the best. But you know what would also be funny? Hello, sensational. So Roman brings out Solo, and The Rock brings out Stone Cold.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Hey, but you gotta admit it would be funny. Well, hey, as long as you heard about us, that's all that matters.
But don't be talking to us about our kids like that, please. Side note, NXT NXT Stand and Deliver. Its main event just ended with Trick Williams losing, and after the match, Carmelo Hayes turned on him. So, I think Carmelo Hayes might be heading to SmackDown.
So, I do have another question. What is your thoughts about Rick Steiner's son going to the main event?
Braun Breaker?
Yep.
Well, they replaced him with Brock for a reason.
No, he's the only other big guy they have. So
since you just brought him up, Braun and Baron Corbin actually won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic tonight and get a guaranteed shot at the NXT Tag Team titles.
So they're still going to keep him on NXT. Then what was the point of bringing him up into the Rumble?
Yeah. Well, he's supposed to be out Raw tomorrow to decide if he's going to sign for SmackDown or Raw. So I think him and Corbin are going to lose that tag team title run, unless they have it going back and forth between both shows.
That's what I was getting ready to ask you, but can't they? Means they won. Can't they go for any title they want?
No, it's supposed to be an NXT tag team title shot. But
you still have, but you have fucking
Day.
Well, I was gonna say Dominic. He's holding an NXT title and he's on the main event. Main show.
He's not holding any titles right now.
I thought he was holding the NXT title there for a while.
The NXT North American title? No. Dragon Lee beat him, and then Dragon Lee lost to somebody else.
Of course.
And Dragon Lee went for a rematch tonight and got his ass handed to him.
I think it's funny that CM Punk came back just to get back out.
Yeah, pretty much. It's actually why I went and got my computer, because I want to check something.
See if it's kayfabed.
No. It was a tricep tear, right?
The only thing I don't understand was he was fine after the match was over. It was the following day that he had a problem.
So a partial tricep tear takes anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks.
He just said he was going to rehab the hell out of it.
So WrestleMania is the first or second weekend. 12 weeks from today would put him back Sunday, April 28th. If he doesn't have surgery.
Right on.
If he has surgery, it's typically 4 to 6 months after the surgery.
I was reading something about when Brock returns, he wouldn't be coming alone, whatever the hell that means.
Lesnar's done.
Because
of the whole sexual.
Which one? Because to my understanding, he was a witness in the other one.
And then he's being accused in the other one.
Well, the funny thing was, he isn't really being accused because they haven't even mentioned a name. They're associating him with a TNA champion. The funny thing was, there was another champion on that show, and people forgot about him. And you know exactly who that is. He came in with Ray.
4 months would put Punk after surgery, would put him in May. 6 months would put him at July for a return.
All I gotta say is Cain Velasquez was around the same time. And both of them were champions, so you can't just count that as Brock. And and you know what? Another thing that gets me is they should already been able to see through the lies of that story that she told about, even if it was Kane or Brock.
Mm-hmm.
Which part do you agree with? Or which part are you thinking I'm talking about?
I have no idea.
The hotel. He was going to go to my hotel room, but the snowstorm canceled it. Hello? They all go to the same hotel.
Yeah.
She's WWE, and if she was on the road, she would have been at the same hotel they were. That made no sense that he was going to come to he would already have been there. What do you mean he canceled? So if you're a WWE wrestler or even upper management like Triple H should have been able to see through that. Stuff about Vince I could believe, but Brock, really?
And why would he want to do that when he's married to one of the hottest women in pro wrestling?
Well, before he was married, he did make an, I don't even know if it was sexually advanced, I wouldn't say. Dustin's ex-wife.
Dustin
Runnels. AKA Goldust.
Terry Terry. I can't think of her name.
I can't remember her name either, but she said there was a part where she was doing an interview. The guy walked away. She heard her name. She turned around and Brock was naked behind her. So, and she went back to her dressing room. Dustin ran in there and said, don't sell it. And she goes, well, I'm not going to sell it. And he goes, good, don't sell it. Let it lay. And when they asked, what does don't sell it mean? She said, in other words, don't say a word to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, and I didn't. And I'm like, in other words, if Dustin would have thought that it was something, he probably would have told her to say something.
Yeah, if it was that big a deal, he would have said something.
Yeah. He would have told her.
Of the Vince McMahon sex scandal, since this is a pro wrestling talk, and you do an NFL talk, does the name Richard Castard mean anything to you?
No.
He's a former New York Jets, and he was a New York Jet in 1970s NFL draft. His son
We're
is
not arguing, Lacey.
We're not arguing. His son is
We're actually discussing. And I will agree with you 100%. Yeah, Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce, but then again, Beyonce cheated on him several times too. So we can just go past that one.
So Richard Castard is the father of AEW star Max Caster. He passed away on Friday at the age of 75. So my heart and prayers go out to the Caster family as Richard died at 75 battling Parkinson's disease. Yep. But yeah, we're not arguing. We're just discussing the whole Vince McMahon BS.
And you could probably say the same about MGK there. And to be honest, she had him drinking blood. I would probably agree. This bitch is crazy. We're drinking human blood out here. Either way.
So there was a live event for WWE.
Yep, I seen that.
I can't remember where it was, but
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah. The crowd was booing when they replayed the episode, the Rock Roman Cody segment from SmackDown, until Cody Rhodes came out, did a match, ended up winning. I can't remember who it was against, but after the match, he addressed it, said some things, and then he jumped down, went to the barricade, and had a woman holding a sign, legally blind but still trying to see Cody Rhodes. He's like, well, screw trying to see me, why don't you come up here? And he gave her a hug and an autograph. And that's why everyone's just a fan of Cody.
I know. Back to work tomorrow.
Wait.
Well, it was supposed to be an easy day for me yesterday. It turned out to be a holy freaking night of hell. And next week, I don't even want to dread. Wish I had vacation next week because I would take it.
People apparently are trying to bring Triple H into the fold on the whole BS.
Oh, have fun. You have fun with that, Lacey. And who would really care? I mean, if this was a backstage deal and Triple H wasn't aware and it was just between those two, then what the hell does Triple H have to do with it?
Right?
All
I gotta say, whole bullshit. This is what happens when you're a multi-billionaire and you think you can get away with anything. Karma bites you in the ass.
You're talking about Vince again?
Mm-hmm. He's not with the company anymore. The lawyer says it's not him stepping down isn't going to result in the end. We're still going forward. There's more shit to be said, which...
Him stepping down is just a way to just to keep it off the company.
Yeah, and it ain't going to matter. The company's still going to take a hit at it. Until everybody responsible is no longer in the company, it's going to keep going.
That's a huge ass cup. What? Oh, you must be talking about Chief there.
It's an Adventureland cup. Well, I got another big one down here.
All I know is if my kids don't stop, I'm getting a freaking headache.
Yeah, it's one of the great kids are back home. I've had a headache all day. Yes, I had my dental appointment. They fixed one tooth. They're going to fix the other one in a couple weeks. So, back to Rock Roman. Ghost was texting us earlier, so I'm going to say what he said.
Oh, shit.
Not even touching that one, Pixie. But, when the cat's getting into shit. Anywho, Ghost believes that he thinks Rock will beat Roman, and immediately after, Cody will come out and say, "We're doing my match now," and beat The Rock. I don't see that happening.
Nope, but I could see Damian Priest doing it. cashing in that money in the bank.
Here's the reason I don't see Rock beating Roman. He's a member of the board of directors. He wins that. Everybody outside the company, the fan base, everybody are going to say the only reason you won it is because you told Roman to lay down or he was fired.
Well, I guess you could say the same thing about the Young Bucks then now, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Or Cody
Which
when
is
he won the
funny.
title.
Which it's funny because I told Charisma about 2 or 3 months ago that it was real that the Young Bucks resigned from their EVP status, but now they have a storyline where they're EVPs.
Wow. So did they resign or not resign? Or is it a storyline that they did?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Because now they're acting like complete jackasses and everything else.
I'm surprised Moxley's still there, to be honest.
I'm surprised a lot of the people are still there. Like the House of Black, the entire Blackpool Combat Club.
Well, I was looking into CM Punk stuff. Looking back, I see why he left. Because they only showed clips of that interview, but after he left, the full one surfaced. And I see what he was talking about. That whole
the guy
damn
who
thing.
wanted him to fight with last, Jack Perry, is no longer under AEW contract. He's wrestling. He debuted at New Japan. Unless AEW said you're suspended, if you want to go work somewhere else while you're suspended, go for it.
Well, to my understanding, it wasn't supposed to be a big deal. I don't know. Perry, he was in WWE, but he went under a different name. But back then, he ended up staying with Punk. He borrowed some money from him. There was actually a big lawsuit about it. And that's what that was over. Punk said, I was keeping it professional. I didn't say anything. He brought it up. He turned it personal. He goes, he made it that way. And then he took a shot at me, and I took shots back. He goes, but that, and then I watched the interview where he's like, it's because Tony Khan's a freaking idiot and hired this guy. And I told him who he was. He wanted to hire him. This is what happens when you bring in a bunch of kids that think they know everything.
Yeah.
And the sad part is a lot of them are doing it. And there is a lot of kids over there. And I think
Danielson's still over there.
Well, look at Edge, for an example, the look on his face when he told that kid, don't be looking at me, look at him. You're talking to him. You ain't talking to me.
Well, I can tell you why Bryan Danielson's still over there.
Yeah, he can wrestle there.
Well, not just that. He's a member of their disciplinary committee.
Well, that's good. You know, at least he's doing something over there.
Newfie, I've been saying that since he got brought back.
Yeah, but CM Punk is always better at WWE than what he is anywhere else.
Yeah.
The pop he got when he came back and the boost he got in AEW. Come to think about it, there was another wrestler that came back from AEW that was booed as well and now is one of the biggest stars on the roster. Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
The pop CM Punk got when he stepped foot back in that WWE was freaking amazing.
All pros are over.
I didn't think it would ever happen.
Neither did I.
But obviously there was some stuff that happened in AEW that him and Triple H obviously talked about because or else Triple H wouldn't have brought him back.
Oh, no.
So there was obviously other things.
To bring him back.
Huh?
He went behind Vince's back, from what I've read, to bring back Punk.
Oh, I'm sure they would had to.
That he went to Vince's boss, I can't think of his name, and said, "Hey, I want to bring back Punk." And he's like, "Do it. I don't care what Vince says. It's best for the business."
Bringing back
they're
Vince.
bringing in it still.
Bringing back Vince. I just cannot believe that he made her sleep with John Laurinaitis. I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Yeah, John's part of the scandal too.
What do you mean they ruined Cody's career? His career has skyrocketed since he's been back.
Yeah, since he's been back.
And they didn't ruin his career. They made it better. Cody even said that in the documentary he has. That they made him better. A better person than who he was when he left. Because he thought he had it all figured out when he was there, and apparently I didn't.
But yeah, there's multiple scenarios with Cody. I know Cody was pissed about the whole Rock Roman situation, but it was going to happen no matter whether Cody won the Rumble or not.
I'm not upset about it because I would rather him see Seth because I'm tired of seeing him get squashed by fucking Roman. So if I was him, I would have done the same damn move. Why? So I could just go get squashed again? Seth is your best bet.
They want Seth to drop the title so he can have surgery.
He hated that gimmick, bro.
Yeah.
Cody hated Stardust. No, he hated that gimmick. That was the reason he wanted out. He goes, if you have me go out there one more time, I'm out. And they want him to do it a lot.
The thing that gets me is you have somebody that can help Seth drop the title, but yet you want him to be screwed out of his contract in a storyline where the Judgment Day implodes. But if he doesn't use the title by June or July, there's no point on it. And that's Damian Priest. His year's almost up.
Hey, he's tried to cash it in twice.
Honestly, I think what they need to do is have Seth cash in, or have Priest cash in. Seth has his surgery, and then Priest and Cody can go at it at WrestleMania. But no, in WWE, it's going to be Cody versus Seth. Priest is going to run down to try to pull a Seth, but it's not going to work his way, and Cody will still walk out champion.
Well, to my understanding is he's going to try and cash it, and he's going to get stopped by Finn Balor.
Yeah. Because I don't see Roman losing the title at WrestleMania. I just don't.
And Rhea's going to be the one to tell Finn to go down there and do it.
Here's two matches. These might be spoiled. I don't see Roman I see The Rock losing to Roman, and I don't see Bayley defeating Io.
Not without help.
No.
The Rock versus Roman. I don't know. I would love and a match that I really want to see because I hope he dethrones his ass.
I don't see it happening.
I don't see a lot of things happening with Roman. Part-timer, hardly ever there, and yet holds on to a title longer than everybody else because he don't defend it. Must be nice to be a part-timer. But still make more than everybody on the roster, but never show up. You know what? Well, who does that sound like? Sounds familiar. part-timer, never shows up. Oh yeah, Brock Lesnar. But to be fair, if Brock had to lose the title, Brock lost the title. Roman can't lose the title, or he'll quit his contract. Because he's a whiny little bitch.
So, Roman is 226 days from beating Hulk Hogan's record.
Hopefully all of them. They've already written him off the freaking website anyways, Brock. They removed him like they removed Chris Benoit. That's another thing that pissed me off, is they won't let David Benoit wrestle because he wants to use Chris Benoit and his whole dad's attire, and his dad's moveset. So they're blacklisting him in that form, which I think is complete bullshit. They should let him carry his dad's legacy.
Hey, completely false. I have WWE.com pulled up on my computer. You go to Superstars, Brock Lesnar's name is still there.
Then what was it that I read the other day off of WrestleZone where they have blacklisted him?
They're removing him from 2K. I know that. They're also trying to remove Vince from 2K.
So eventually they're going to pull his contract. If they're pulling him out of the game, they're going to pull his contract.
Oh, yeah.
But he'll still be on the WWE alumni, just like...
Well, no, this is the active roster page I'm looking at.
AEW is willing to let anybody in as long as they'll come and show up. Oh, you mean Dave? David? I don't know. I don't know if they let David Flair in. Right now, nobody is letting him in. Can you hear me, Chief?
Hell, they still have Shane McMahon on the roster, but yet he was fired. Stephanie's still on the roster, but she has nothing to do with the company. So there's a new superstar that hasn't debuted. I think everybody might want to laugh at this. Let me turn my camera around. You see that, right?
No, give me a sec. That is awesome.
You see that, right?
No, not yet. I'm not even on the page.
The name reads vacant. Can you see it now, Noopy?
Heading back over.
Oh.
Yeah, I see that. Yep, I see it. Vacant.
Right next
That's
to
fucked
Tyler
up.
Holt.
That's fucked up how they can just move him just right out of a game. So fucked up.
Don't mind me, I'm scrolling up. Active roster page.
All right, give me a second.
All right, now I'm scrolling back down because I want to see if Vinnie Mac is still on here. That just caught me off guard that it said vacant. And I was like, the fuck? They're saying. Ooh. Damn it, I wish Punk wasn't injured. A battle of the best in the world. Because of the whole best in the world tournament they had years ago. Steph's still on there. Tommaso. Nope. Vinnie Mac is nowhere on the list.
So apparently, Braun Breaker might be taking all of the spots that he was supposed to have. According to the original creative plan involving Lesnar Elimination Chamber, elimination by Dominic, which is simply a match against Mysterio at Elimination Chamber, and then the WWE Intercontinental Championship against Gunther at WrestleMania 40. All those have been scrapped, but they're saying that he can still change that and just go with Braun Breaker on all of it.
Yeah, I did see reading about that. There's also rumors that Goldberg could be taking the WrestleMania spot.
Oh boy. Why don't we just put Cena back in the mix?
Right.
Hey, it's one match.
So
it's
they
one
have
title
Brock-
he's never held. Why
So they
not?
have Brock underneath free agent.
I was going to bring up another interesting factor that I just read, that David was at AEW a while back, and Tony Khan is interested in signing him, and since then he has been training with none other than Y2J.
Yeah.
And he's been also in the ring with Moxley.
I'm underneath the
So-
Illuminati Hill, looking to see if Vince is
So-
underneath his.
But I did read something else. Triple H was interested in signing David, but he was weary due to the lack of in-ring wrestling, he didn't really have any. So, well, if anybody could help him learn the style and techniques, it'd be the one person that's been in the ring with him, and that's Chris Jericho. I know the one person that is deadly pissed off over the fact of them blocking him and not wanting to talk about it is Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle said, if you go back to my best matches, they were all with Chris. He goes, every one of my matches, my best matches were with Chris. He goes, so if you're telling me not to talk about it, then you're talking about me not talking about the highlight of my career. And I thought that was awesome. If he did do it, I think the one thing they'll steer away from is his signature move. They'll make him do a different signature move. And we all know what Chris's signature was. The diving headbutt.
So Vince McMahon is not underneath alumni either.
Crossface was his finisher. His signature was the diving headbutt off the top rope. So I could see them having him choose a different signature. Chief, what's your thoughts?
I don't know. I want him to compete, but I don't think any company in the United States is going to let him compete.
AEW is willing to take the chance, from what I was just reading.
Well, then they need to do it.
Tony Khan is really interested in signing him, but since they said that, he's been nonstop in the ring in their performance center with Y2J and John Moxley. Nonstop.
Funny thing is, AEW doesn't have a performance center.
That's why they're using...
They use the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, that's where he's been. But I was also reading...
operated by Cody Rhodes.
But you do know Triple H did think about signing him. But Triple H pulled the plug because he didn't have any lack of in-ring experience.
Yeah.
So if he would have went over to New Japan or even AEW and got a name built around himself and wanted to jump to WWE,
we could
I think Triple H would sign him
as long as he had that experience.
Yeah, and I think even if he even went in as Crispin Wall, I don't think they would even care. I honestly don't think they would. Because that was Vince's thing, not theirs. But I do agree with everything Kurt Angle said, though. When they blacklisted him, he goes, they didn't just blacklist Chris, they blacklisted my whole career. Because all my good matches, if you want to go back to it, was all when I wrestled Chris.
Yeah.
He goes, that was my career. He goes, that was half the reason why I left. He goes, because if you look at my career, I don't know how many matches we wrestled against each other, but every time we did, we stole the show. And that's why he ended up in TNA.
Oh, yeah. I know.
But you know what? In my honest opinion, Kurt Angle wouldn't have got as big as he did if it wasn't for TNA. He was not taken serious. And when he joined the Main Event Mafia, and then became the leader of it, it was freaking awesome. See, I was still hoping, AJ would have brought back Fortune 4. Now that he's in WWE. Because honestly, I miss hearing that fucking music. Yeah, Brian did it for a short time, but they were saying that diving headbutt is what caused the mentalage of Chris Benoit, which I find to be bullshit, but that's just me. But, all right, do we have anything else to add, Chief?
No, I was hoping Ghost would have joined us in the last 51 minutes, but...
I don't have anything else, but I do.
Oh, I want to talk about this, but yet he doesn't show.
Yeah, I got to head to Walmart before they close. That's why I was asking.
Well, I'm just going to ask you one question that has nothing to do with Pro Wrestling Talk.
All right, shoot.
And Newfie, you can answer this too. Who you got next weekend?
Iowa. You know why I said that, don't you?
You're going 49ers because the quarterback and one of the other players played in Iowa.
The quarterback and the tight end. And you know what's funny? I have to say this for those people who doesn't know this. George Kittle was an Iowa Hawkeye, and you have a quarterback from Iowa State, and we have an Iowa State throwing to a Hawkeye. Let's fucking go. And you know what's funny? Because Ames is completely 49ers, and you have Iowa City, whose George Kittle jerseys are flying off the fucking shelves, bro. Brock Purdy jerseys and Ames are flying off the fucking shelves, bro. Mm-hmm. It is ridiculous. So, yes, let's go Iowa. I'm not even calling the 49ers right now. Let's go Iowa. Right. Because who's his number one target? George Kittle. And both of them are from Iowa, so fuck it. Let's go. But we also can't forget, though, Christian McCaffrey, best running back of the year in 49ers.
Yep.
Do I look to them to win it? Nope, because we're going to have crybabies on the field, 2 of them. And because Taylor Swift will be in attendance, we can look for that to be screwed even more.
Well, I also did some research. Apparently, in the last 4 outings at Allegiant, the Kansas City Chiefs are unbeaten.
Yep, and they'll keep that record because they want Mahomes to beat Tom Brady's record at all costs.
Well, I know this is off topic, but I came across the video where a construction worker showed a Chiefs Kingdom flag and said he was going to cement it in cement in the middle of the 50-yard line at Allegiant Stadium when they built the new stadium.
Bet they did.
But when the Raiders committee confronted him, he pulled out one and said, no, it's right here. You know how easy it would be to buy a new one?
How easy it was to buy 2 of them?
Yeah.
He did it, and the other one was right in his hand.
Just like there was one, I can't remember where it was. It was a baseball team. The same thing happened in a wall of the stadium. Well, the people that run the stadium found out, went, got jackhammers, dug it up, and took the flag out because they were tired of losing to the Yankees.
Were they Cubs?
Probably.
No.
So when you doing a news conspiracy podcast?
Maybe as soon as I get back from Walmart.
All right, y'all stay tuned for that. And just letting y'all know that these podcasts will be uploaded to Spotify within an hour, typically, of them ending. So you all have a great night. See you, Insidious.
Yep, I shall be back shortly.
I am Insidious. Thanks for watching this podcast.
This is The Ghost, and thank you for watching our podcast.
And I am the Chief. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great night.